Plums are on board. What plaything do you have for me today?
Something out of I bet you were about to think SK system, but you're on.
Ah,
Something out of our own home base. And that is weird stinking audio on our end. Just that I've been telling Sasha I discovered something weird not 2 weeks ago, maybe about 3 weeks ago.
4 weeks.
Because two weeks ago was our SAG episode, and it was the week before that when I noticed something a little odd with the audio, and that is because on my end I share the audio version of the uncensored podcast, and plus I give any updates, and et cetera, et cetera. So I get to look at the audio through the popular free program Audacity. And I notice sometimes a little bit of like spikes. They're literally, it looks like this thin, but for the camera, about the thin of a wire or a cord. If you have something corded on your computer with headphones or something like that. But spikes kind of show up like that. It's just like a big squiggly line. And I was like, that's kind of weird. I noticed because I have a fridge because my place is really tiny. My hand is right on the fridge right next door. And I figured a lot of the audio I've been picking up is like maybe the fridge kicking on, or maybe something like if Sasha's searching something on the internet or replying to a comment, you might hear the keyboard. If the mics are super sensitive, or because I'm sitting on my bed, if a spring pops up, if I have a microphone sitting right on the bed, it's going to pick that up, et cetera, et cetera. That's what gets picked up. Not to mention, me and Sasha are podcasting across the internet. So you might get a little bit of spikes in regards to glitches. And a lot of times that's what those spikes were when I amplified them, were glitches or an inhale from Sasha, inhale from me, somebody just chuckling ever so lightly. Therefore, the mic was picking up that light chuckle or a click of the teeth, or heck, even me opening up the top of my cup or taking a sip. But when we were talking about the SAG and everything, there were several weird, four to be precise, that I was able to notice. The first one is when we were talking about bullying. Sasha mentioned something about in regards to bullying. And right after that, there was a light audio spike. And when I amplified it, it kind of sounds like the sound was like, or what can be made out like how? Like Sasha said, bullying. And someone saying, like how? So to speak. The next one was when Sasha was made the reference to made reference to the raised line. You never studied. And there was another spike after that sounded like to, or so, it was almost like it wanted to pick up, the mic wanted to pick up would like to, but only picked up like to. The other one was another Ghostbusters related incident when Sasha was talking about her drama that she was having with a Ghostbusters cosplay group several years ago, and says that she makes reference that she was telling the folks behind the Force Aid event that I should give you a list, and it's like said the spike when amplifies like us, like what do we do? That's how it came out. Like what do we do? The final one that I managed to pick up was when we were talking, making about the movie reference in regards to, I think we were making reference to the MPAA or something like that, movie ratings. And so again, on your end, you said like the late 60s, maybe 68. And what it comes up like someone saying, like you. Like somebody was you and I were talking and somebody overheard us say 1968, and someone would look to us like you. As if to say you're old, you're 1968. But again, all this stuff with EVPs and all that is very controversial. It could be some of it could be chalked up to, yeah, it's an audio glitch. Yeah, it might be something, internet spike. Shit happens through. Even though me and Sasha are working through Zoom right now, when I used to record stuff through Skype, oh, there were audio glitches all the time. There would be spikes. Just like if you said that, like stuff, shit, store, it would drag out a lot, or there'd be a lot of static.
You have to look at it too as like with human beings, we always try to find something that's identifiable. Like it's kind of like, oh, what's that thing? Pareidolia.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was thinking. The human brain wants to find patterns in
faces and things of that nature.
Stuff. That's why we have ink blot tests and all that fun jazz. I remember watching like a YouTube or a documentary saying, yeah, for a species, the human species, we're very intelligent, but the brain itself is very stupid and easily fooled. Yep. So the documentary was not making fun of any one type of person or group of people. It was just saying, yeah, see how it can be considered an illusion. That's how the brain can be easily fooled. Or if you look at certain spirals, it looks like it's moving. That's how the brain can be easily fooled while it's a stationary object.
But like when it comes to things, our brain sometimes tries to fill in the blanks. Like if you look at 90% of like a cryptid sighting, like how often is it a bear with mange?
Right.
And it literally could be. Look at what some people have been calling the chupacabra is just a coyote with mange.
Right.
There's a lot of people looking in old cases and things of that nature, because sometimes our brain is only picking up on certain things and it's not picking up everything at the moment of the action. It's why even eyewitness testimony is not accurate, because we're perceiving it as it's happening, but our brain is filling in a lot of the blanks that basically we don't have, or we don't have all the available data for. And
yep.
It's interesting how creative the human mind is. And at the end of the day, yes, I dabble in the paranormal. The Book of the Dead is right back there. But the thing of it is I'm also a woman of science. And I wouldn't say I'm a skeptic. I would just say, when you dabble with paranormal research in general, like people on YouTube or dear fucking God, the Ghost Adventures guys, they don't use equipment that is accurate. Some of them are using faulty, what were those not PlayStation, Xbox 360's cameras called?
Yeah, the Kinects.
Yeah, they're using the Kinect camera, and if anybody's ever played a video game on Kinect, it's glitchier than sin. You're going to get weird things that show up, because it's not perfect. It's not accurate. And going off of EMFs and the whole thing with like random like radio signals and pulling out voices from the air, again, it's left to the interpretation. You heard a noise, your brain is saying it sounds like this, and those guys may adamantly believe that they've gotten some sort of positive answer. So of course it's kind of like mass hysteria.
It's interesting science as well. It's like you have, if they, especially with EVPs, if they say, hey, someone said, if you listen closely to this EVP, someone says hello, your brain's gonna listen for hello, and it could not be hello, it could be something else going on, and yet you're going to hear hello because it's already in your head. It's like there was that aspect of, this was like 5-6 years ago, when it was roughly around the time of, is the dress blue or red?
Or hell, just
Deal.
people who screw up
No,
song lyrics constantly.
it's not just that. It was like there was an audio clip. It was going around roughly again, when is this a blue dress or a red dress deal, that if you listened and you listened carefully, you heard either one thing or another, and it was, both were exactly correct, and you could actually train your brain and your ears to hear both. And so it was actual science that you both were correct, and it was just a matter of which side of your
Right.
audio sense. But
Well, it's like people who
correlate-
misunderstand song lyrics, that they believe for the longest time that the song said revved up like a douche instead of revved up like a deuce, you know?
but you have to also figure, folks at home, I gotta describe, I know those watching, I gotta describe it, but we do have audio listeners. Let's say this back of this book is representative of the visual and or hearing spectrum. We as humans only see that much.
Yeah.
I know there are some animals that only see red or only see certain things, but ours are, for the most part, see very little. And I'm holding like a very thin audio wire or auxiliary wire dead center. We're not seeing everything. We don't know if that's why you have a lot of folks in the paranormal community to say that cats or dogs are able to see stuff that we cannot see, or that sort of thing, or cats and dogs are able to hear things that we cannot hear because their visual spectrum and their audio spectrum is a little bit better than ours. So how true that is in regards to them, those types of animals picking something up, is unknown, but it's interesting science, because it is a valid science, but it's not something that we could fully prove in regards to the paranormal.
And so, like on this episode, just as an experiment, I'm recording it the same way we did the last one. So it's going to have the whole online instead of recording directly to my computer. So who knows? Maybe we'll have something that proves us wrong.
Let me put it like this. Ladies and gentlemen, or this will be, because this might be up on Sasha's end in regards to OnlyFans first before I do any audio. If you're watching this on YouTube, OnlyFans, or wherever, and listen to the audio podcast version of this, at the end, if I pick up anything that's weird or different, I will copy it and paste it, and I'll include it at the end part of the show as part of the updates. And I'll have all of you listeners out there, or if you're listening to this, if I pick up anything, it'll be at the end, part of the updates, and I'll let all of you out there decide if you hear the same thing I do. And if you do, if your outlet of choice, whether it's Good Pods, Podbean, or whatever, even if it's on YouTube, go on YouTube or Sasha's OnlyFans page, leave a comment to see if you that you listened to the audio podcast, and see if you heard the same thing I heard, or what have you. Leave a comment, react.
And for those who's listening to the ethereal plane, from the ethereal plane, if you feel like reaching out and contacting us, by all means, you know how. So please do.
Because I always check for dead air when I do the audio stuff, so I'll see your little squiggles.
Yep, we'll see you.
We'll see you.
We'll see you, or we'll see how much bullshit it is. One of the two.
I know I've been talking a lot, but there's one little thing we go into before.